Okay, we're coming out of the executive session, and action on the executive session will take place later in the meeting. Next agenda item,
I'm gonna move to enter into executive session pursuant to one MRSA 405-6D to discuss labor negotiations.
I'll second that.
discussion,
So in terms of discussion, just for clarification on a couple different points, the section of reference to the executive session for this, for 6D, indicates discussion of labor contracts and proposals in meetings between a public agency and its negotiators, which is the first part. Parties must be named before the body or agency may go into an executive session. And then the second part, or really third, if you want to say that last part included, but negotiation between the representatives of public employer and public employees may be open to the public if both parties agree to conduct negotiations in open session. Right now, I would say to you, I have a little bit of dilemma here because right now, we haven't received the letter from Joe Bocconi indicating the Teamsters want to negotiate. He was up in the building last week, but I was in a meeting, but he still hasn't sent me an email or anything like that. And then I'm also hearing around town that Teamsters may not be negotiating. So at this point, I don't know how we can go in executive session if we don't even know who it is we're going to be negotiating with or may not be negotiating.
my intent was simply to develop strategy for the upcoming session, to talk about general topics that we want to involve, and to find out from you the likelihood of when we can get going. It's really just,
Which I understand to be the case, but I think normally in the past, when we've done this, we've understood that Joe Bocconi was aware that you're going to be going in to executive session to have those conversations prior to them actually meeting. In this case, we're not meeting with our negotiators because you haven't assigned a negotiator yet, I'm assuming. And then two, again, the other agency that you would name in your motion, I mean, if we say it's them, but we're not meeting with them, so I guess it's just
the agency,
whatever, between Hancock
union?
County and whatever the union.
The
yeah,
union?
would be, yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's my concern. I understand what you're trying to do, but I just want to highlight those points for you before you make your final
I don't
vote.
think going into executive session, discussion strategy with regards to an expiring sheriff's office unit contract in December 31st is in violation of that section. I think there are things that we need to discuss in preparation of meeting and getting ready a list of demands for that. And that doesn't require notification to Joe because it doesn't affect, we're not deliberating on his demands. We're basically talking about how we want to set up negotiations if and when we do start negotiations, that's all.
And I'm just referencing back, discussion of labor contracts and proposals in meetings between a public agency and its negotiators. Parties must be named before the body agency may go into executive session. So I mean, however, I guess you want to get to that next point is up to the three of you, but I just want to make sure you're aware of what the statute said and the fact that we haven't received that letter from the union yet. So, not that we ever do.
I can't believe the statute ever prohibited us from sitting here and talking about strategy for upcoming negotiation we knew was going to occur because there's an expiring contract. And Michael, who is going to complain? I mean, why would anybody complain that we are sitting here today talking about the overall conditions that we want to see and with regards to the upcoming, everything from, is there a chance we're not going to be negotiating with the Teamsters, to what exactly, not exactly, but overall in the contract that we want to see addressed? And why,
Would the union be discussing their strategies ahead of time?
what's that?
Well, they could because they're not a public
Oh,
agency, so that's where if you're gonna discuss what you wanna do, then obviously, I mean, all I can say is the union's good. I mean, but that's up to you. I'm making you aware of what the statute says. And we're not meeting with our negotiators. And at this point, just because of what I'm hearing, I don't know who we're meeting with. because I don't have a letter from the Teamsters and I don't have a letter from anybody else, so.
And I'm saying, it's not a case of who we're dealing with, it's a case of acknowledging that we have an expiring contract coming up here in 2.5 months. And as far as meeting with negotiators, we negotiate our own, so we're meeting with negotiators. We're meeting amongst ourselves and talking about strategy for negotiation. Michael, I don't understand why you're making this so difficult.
I'm not trying to make it difficult, I'm trying to make sure you guys stay legal. If you want to go into it for the reasons you just testified, that's your vote. I'm not trying to sidetrack this. I'd like to get this going because we have less than 2 months. And we're going to be performing a good chunk of the research and other stuff that needs to be done with this. So I'm not trying to hold anything up. I'm doing my job to advise you what the statute says. And if you go into it, you're giving your rationale, and that's where we end up, so.
What do you want to do, gentlemen? All those in favor of going into executive session to discuss union negotiations, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, Josh, I'm gonna ask you to leave because there's gonna be issues